After Binance restarted its Bitcoin withdrawals, the largest crypto exchange in the world said it's adjusting fees and plans to integrate the Lightning Network. Joining us now to discuss is CEO and co-founder of Lightspark, David Marcus. Welcome, David.
Hello.
It's good to have you here. So, Lightspark enables an open payment for the internet via the Lightning Network. We're seeing a lot of congestion on the Bitcoin blockchain, which has at least two main issues associated with it. One, it's expensive to onboard anyone to Bitcoin now, but especially people from poorer countries. And two, it has made withdrawals from exchanges expensive. The former is important, but I want to ask you about the latter specifically. How can the work you're doing at Lightspark with the Lightning Network help alleviate base chain fees for exchanges?
So first of all, thanks for having me. And as you know, Lightning is a payment protocol on top of Bitcoin that was designed to actually alleviate the issues with the slowness of layer one and the fees associated with it. And with Lightning, you can actually send and receive transactions in near real time at a very low cost. And the work we've done is to try to really remove all of the complexity that it used to take to actually onboard the Lightning Network for exchanges and wallets. And so, you can call this good timing, but I think we have the right product at the right time for exchanges and wallets to actually cope with the rise in fees and backed up mempools.
Right. David, I think that makes sense, but how does Lightning solve this particular problem right now? Wouldn't it be expensive to onboard people to Lightning right now since fees are high?
No, actually, it wouldn't, especially, if you're building on our stack, we take care of opening the channels for our clients and managing these channels and deploying the liquidity in the right place at the right time. And so as such, as consumers onboard Lightning and use it to withdraw or deposit, they wouldn't have to pay layer one fees. They could actually just move Bitcoin in near real time at very low cost right now without any of the issues that they'll encounter on layer one right now.
Right. So is that because you guys have already set up Lightning channels for them to plug into, or is this something else?
Yes, that's right. We open channels dynamically in the back end on behalf of our clients and deploy liquidity. We have a product that's called Lightspark Predict that actually has an up-to-date at all times topography of the network and deploys liquidity in real time on their behalf, so they can actually rely on Lightning the same way that they would rely on layer one, just much faster and at a much lower cost.
Right. So, David, why the Lightning Network? Because Lightning has been around for a while. Why not other layer twos?
Well, first of all, we are solid and strong believers that Bitcoin is the only network that can actually support a truly open, decentralized payment protocol for the internet. And once you've built that belief, then Lightning becomes an obvious decision. And of course, we believe that we have a role to play here, and that's why we focused all of our energy in trying to make Lightning actually more usable and lower the barrier of entry when it comes to the complexity that used to be associated with Lightning. We abstract all of that, and as such, we believe that we can make it more mainstream and drive adoption.
Right. So, David, when it comes to that abstraction, I want to specifically ask about your business. So this idea of enterprise Lightning sounds enticing in theory, but how do you balance the peer-to-peer cheap microtransaction ethos of Lightning while serving as a service provider that somehow collects fees and revenue as a middleman in an open network?
Well, it's a little bit like everything, right? If you go back and take parallels of the internet, you still have an open internet, but you decide if you want to use AWS or a hosting service and pay Amazon in this case, or Google Cloud, or what have you, cloud provider, to provide certain services, because you don't want to actually have a server that you have to maintain and put it in a rack and connect it to the internet and configure your router and keep all of these things up and running. You'd rather use a service provider that takes care of all of that complexity on your behalf, and we believe this is the same thing here.
Yeah, understood, David. I have a David Marcus question rather than a Lightspark question for you. But you have had a change of heart when it comes to crypto. You went from stablecoins to Bitcoin. So with all of these high fee nows on the base layer of Bitcoin, I have to ask you again, Is Bitcoin still the future of payments?
Bitcoin is the future of payments, and I think it's really important to separate the actual assets that you're using to transact, whether it's a stable coin or fiat or any other digital asset, and the actual rails, the network that is actually going to enable these payments to be open, interoperable, really cheap, and settle in real time. And we're really focused on the latter. And so, we are big believers that if you want a truly open protocol for money on the internet or for payments on the internet, you have to build it on top of something that no one controls. And when you think about that, there's just no one else quite like Bitcoin that has no known leader or group of companies or consortium or any form of centralized control. And as such, we believe that it's the only layer one and protocol that can support the truly open, decentralized protocol for payments on the internet.
Awesome. That makes a lot of sense, David, and wishing you the best of luck. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That was David Marcus of Lightspark.